Hungarians remember the Trianon Peace Treaty and its consequences today. The treaty, which closed the First World War, was signed on this day 96 years ago in 1920 in Versailles. Hungary lost two-thirds of its area and more than 3 million Hungarians, that was one-third of the Hungarian population of that time, was taken to another country. Hungarians living beyond the borders are part of the unified Hungarian nation as well. This is one of the main messages of today.
The Hungarian national flag was hoisted with military honors in front of the parliament building in the presence of President János Áder. Many people visited Kossuth Square to commemorate the signing of the Trianon Peace Treaty on the Day of National Unity. This is how we can remember. We can't really celebrate, I think, merely remember. And I usually take part in the event, but I certainly burst into tears when listening to the national anthem, says this woman. At the central ceremony held in the House of Hungarians, Deputy State Secretary for National Policy, Péter Szilágyi, said that June the 4th is not a holiday, but it is the day of commemoration and gathering of strength. Carrying the cross and the burden strengthened the Hungarians. Although we were separated from each other, our national values still remained deep in our souls. The heritage of the 1,000-year-old Hungary in the Carpathian Basin could not be abolished, said the Deputy State Secretary. During the day, an improvised dance was performed by the Hungarian National Dance Ensemble in several parts of the capital, where civilians and professionals could dance together, just like at Kossuth Square. And in the Buda Castle as well. Meanwhile, children could try a large variety of traditional folk games. In Pécs, 10 ethnic Hungarians made an oath of alliance on the Day of National Unity. Thank God I am here. I'm glad and thankful. We're all brothers and sisters, and I am so surprised. This is a lovely festive environment, says this woman. June the 4th, the day of the signing of the Trianon Peace Treaty, was declared the Day of National Unity by Parliament in 2010.
The Trianon Peace Treaty was commemorated outside Hungary as well, where people recall that those settlements in which they gathered today had all belonged to Hungary before Trianon. There were some groups of students from Hungary who have traveled abroad and visited the ethnic Hungarian inhabited lands for the first time.
Students from Orosháza got out of the bus in the center of Szabadka. More than 4,000 students of 104 schools could travel abroad with the help of the student travel program of the Rákóczi Alliance on the Day of National Unity. I think it is important that they can experience what it means to be Hungarian beyond the border too, which is natural for us here in Hungary, says the teacher. Primary school students performed a memorial program in the St. Elizabeth Home for Elderly People in the Transylvanian Gyergyószent Miklós. Trianon has a completely different meaning for elderly people than for today's youth. They have experienced a lot of changes, a lot of political transitions that are there deep down in their souls, and there was a time when they weren't even allowed to talk about it, says this nurse. The Hungarians in Slovakia held their central event at the tomb of the Paris Peace Delegation's leader, Count Albert Apponyi, in the presence of the statesman's grandson. Memorial services were also held in the Transcarpathian area in Ukraine. With the signing of the Trianon Peace Treaty, Hungary lost two-thirds of its territory, and in consequence about every third Hungarian citizen were to live outside the new borders. This is what ethnic Hungarians living abroad remembered today.